Hexa versus Uther.
I will fight with honor. Let the hunt begin.
And we are back. This Pentaclick eSports Tournament 5 Season 2 of Hearthstone tournaments. We are watching Backez versus Hemingway. Hunter versus Paladin. The lineup are, as you can see on your screens, Backez, Hunter, Druid, Priest versus Hemingway's Warlock, Druid, Paladin. It's gonna be what seems Backez' mid-range. Oh no, hybrid, given the explosive. Hybrid Hunter versus Hemingway's mid-range Paladin, I guess. Maybe Reno.
Stuff.
Or Reno.
Mid-range Pally. I love that deck. That's the only Paladin deck that I actually acknowledge. The rest are just scummy.
Well, it could be Reno. We don't know yet.
Let me think.
Reno's fun as well, but Reno is like a mid-range Paladin in its core because it does run the late game. It runs a lot of the Paladin stuff that's good in the mid-range area. And as far as we go for Backez, it can just be like normal mid-range hunter that just checked an explosive trap, possibly due to the Paladin matchup.
Yeah, you might be. I will say that I think mid-range Paladin is the weakest in the current meta out of all the archetypes of Paladin.
I honestly think that aggro Paladin is weaker than mid-range Paladin. You know, the one that just runs lepers, sergeants, squires.
Oh yeah. But that was killed after Secret became a thing.
Well, it still does roam the ladder, but like it's just as prevalent as mid-range Paladin is. Anyway, we have a Tempo Aldor on this spider, which does exactly nothing.
But that makes complete sense.
You think? I would Cockhammer. I would definitely Cockhammer. I would not even like use coin that early. I would probably just Hero Power. The spider is not that much of a threat. What does the free challenging for you? You're expecting either bow or animal companion on turn 3 by standards. The free doesn't challenge any of the animal companions except Huffer, possibly. Bow deals with it too conveniently. I don't know. It seems a bit too forced. You're taking this a bit too fast, I think.
Yeah. But ultimately did force out that kill command, a bit of a lucky draw for Hemingway, I think. It's turn 3 though, and he doesn't have necessarily too big. Maybe he got too greedy. Maybe he thought if he could develop the other Peacekeeper, get away with it, then Coghammer would be just insane. But he didn't get away with it. And now it's either Coghammer or Hero Power. Or maybe even a Tempo BGH, if you're so inclined.
Well, you don't know what deck that is yet, but the kill command to your free kind of like strongly suggests that it is mid-range, so I don't know about this big game. You don't have an answer to a really big drop right now. Big game does challenge the spider pretty well though. So, well played by Hemingway, making the read that the Handmaster would hit the board on turn 4.
I don't know if that would maybe necessarily the raid. Maybe he just he knew that the enemy didn't have Eagle Horn bow or
he drew it though.
Yeah, well,
he drew it. Which is a good point. I wonder if the Handmaster. Which is a good point to make. I wonder if the Handmaster playing so deliberately into the big game. Well, he didn't know. If he knew there was a Cockhammer, he for sure would have bowed, but I'm not sure if playing on curve there was completely the right decision. But it still works out. The bow hits the big game. It still works out fine.
Yeah, and he opted for just a bigger board earlier.
Ranger! I'm starting to actually believe it might be Reno, I guess.
I think it is, giving some of the cards we have seen, and Yakoda Rider is a very
Paladin,
unusual.
though, I want to say is one of the classes that needs a couple of duplicates in its deck to properly build a Reno deck, I feel. Because the power levels are not that well spread out, like for Mage or for Warlock. Well, Warlock just can run Reno basically due to the fact because it has card draw as a hero power, but like Paladin just has cards you have to run 2 of, like for example Muster, like for example Well, Monster especially, but I think Paladin just has too many 2-ups, so I don't think it's like that good when you run just everything in a single copy.
Yeah. I think that's a debate that goes on, has gone on since Reno has been introduced. Whether do you run any duplicates or not? Hemingway probably doesn't. Goes for anti-heal bot, plays that zombie chow, but Dr. Boom is played by Backez as a response, giving him a very nice board. He's now up debating whether to trade or hit face, but in a true hunter fashion, he goes face.
There were really no exceptional trades there. I think you can make a point killing the zombie chow, but the zombie chow doesn't challenge anything in particular besides a boombot. Here he has the option to trade both minions and consecrate and do nothing else. I guess play a mini bot. If he's playing the mini bot, it seems like he's going for the consecration play.
I think concentration makes the most sense. Like that board, you're 15, that board is very big. You don't want to take too much unnecessary damage. And he uses his Earth Shattering spell. How the Bull Bombs will land 1 and 4 to the face, to a total of 5. Which, let's see what Animal Companion draws. If it's Huffer,
unless it's Misha, you win. Yeah, because Liak would enable lethal with Unleash. Yeah, then we have our first round winner. Backez with his mid-range hunter, I would say, even with that explosive trap that never got played, which is really good, by the way, because it didn't reveal that he's running explosive trap in there.
Well, he wasn't pressured into playing that. There was no board that would suggest that, oh, I need to play this, like this is value. And yeah, he kept it under the rug, as you mentioned. But
also, it doesn't matter at all that he didn't reveal that he's running explosive there, since he won with the hunter. So
yes. Anyway, Backez takes game 1 against Hemingway as we continue our tournament and go into game 2. Again, it's Backez versus Hemingway. So, Backez again, having Hunter, Druid, Priest versus Hemingway's Warlock, Druid, Paladin. Hunter is now out.
I feel like Priest's gonna hit the board right now.
Well, again, it's Druid, Paladin, Warlock. I think maybe Druid. I think Druid is an overall better pick. I don't know. I think you leave Priest as something that. Yeah, I think you left Priest the last one, and then you just try to find a matchup with the Priest that will do exceptionally well and win that. I think Druid.
I don't think there's a perfectly good matchup for Priest. It's just that Druid is kind of like in the dumpster playing against Hunter and Paladin potentially. So you just want to get that Priest in there, I feel. Are candidates still debating, or are we having some issues? All right, Hemingway has a couple of issues. So, as we talked before, and we're starting. I was just about to get to the standard and wild part. It seems that's the hot fix right now.
Yeah, talk about the standard mode and everything. Oh, I think now Hearthstone is...
No one wants to listen to that, apparently.
And I think Hearthstone is dying on me. Oh no, I think it's back.
Well, you were right. You were right. We're having a Druid mirror here. And it looks like Backez is actually sporting a full golden double combo Druid, which is really exciting.
Job's done.
Meanwhile, Hemingway is the Innervate, giving him the slight edge in this matchup, as I feel. Usually Innervate is better than Wildgrowth, depending on how you can use it. But this Wild Grove is, well, essentially enabling Keeper of the Grove, which is not that good right now. The Shade's gonna grow, it's gonna apply a lot of pressure going the turns forward, but Hemingway doesn't have quite the plays just yet to follow that up. And on the flip side, Backez is just one innervate away from a real power play to which Hemingway doesn't have an answer to. Turns Aspirant is cool and all, but it's gonna get answered by the ref. It's actually gonna give Hemingway a valid play for his next turn. So, and we're meanwhile looking still at only a 5 mana curve for the next turn, which is good for Druid because you have a lot of 5-drops being Azure Drakes and Druids with the Claws. But here ref comes down, can't weave in the hero power. You probably don't reveal the Shade just yet.
No, I don't think that there's a reason.
Does find the Druid of the Claw, which is huge right now.
Where shall I start?
Yeah, that's a very nice get for him, given his given what hand he has. And yeah, I think Shade's it was understandably that Shade stays where it is. Okay, and I think I actually will have to start Hearthstone because it's dying on me here.
Okay, I was like jamming this stuff while you were gone, no problems. I wonder why he keepered here. I think you opened up yourself way too much to swipe, which you just did draw right now. But like, well, I think you preserve your resources. You just use the Shade. You use hero power to tackle the Druid of the Clauder. You just opened yourself up too much to swipe here, and I'm curious as to why swipe wasn't played. I guess he really values the Shredder on the board. Hemingway is on the verge where Wild Growth is not really that useful, but it does allow him to play Boom next turn without using the coin, which is good enough in itself. But seeing as Becky's already played his Wild Growth, he will just respond with an Ancient of Lore, and he also draws the combo, so we're in a situation if he draws an Innervate right now, which he does not. He would seal. Wait, he wouldn't quite seal this game out with combo. So this Dr. Boom still comes at an opportune time. There's no big game to challenge it, luckily for Hemingway. But there's the Innervate. So we're really close to lethal here. We're, I believe, at 23. So we're one off lethal with Living Roots as well, used with Innervate. You might go for it, seeing as you have the Keeper of the Grove and the swipe. So that's a lot of. I think you actually just combo here and use Living Roots as well. You do not... Do you die to counter combo? It's 9 plus 6 plus... That's 15 plus 14. So you would not die to combo if the opponent plays it. So I believe that he should have went for the combo play this turn. But clearing Boom is fine in itself. You still have a board that needs answering, lest you die to combo itself. Hemingway, though, can respond with the Force of Nature to partially clear this board. And just clearing the Ancient of Lore would be enough from his perspective to survive here, though the Innervate makes it so Living Roots does deal the final damage needed for Backez. So what are your plays? Oh, welcome.
Yeah, I see that Hemingway is is not in a good spot by any means with the imagination. Turn 8 still holding on that coin, double Savage or no double Force of Nature. We'll use that Savage, that Force of Nature to deal with it. Yes, deals with the board,
and that's
but it's left empty.
The Innervate enables the Living Roots, which is exactly 16 damage, so it's 2-0, I believe. Wait, no, yeah,
wait. It is.
Backez won the first one?
Yep.
Alright, I remember. So yeah, we're at a 2-0 right now.
So it's gonna
holding on to that priest till the end. And actually slipping through Druid against probably the best matchup, I guess, with it being Druid and all, and the mirror being somewhat fair. So it looks like the priest is going to have a great opportunity to slip through against any of these classes.
Yep, right you are. So it's gonna be Backez last deck, which, as we mentioned, is priest versus Hemingway's warlock druid paladin. Hemingway has his work cut out for him. He has a lot to do to stay in this tournament, as Backez is in a very nice spot. And this is match point for Backez's priest versus Hemingway's warlock.
I'm so happy to finally see a control priest, which I think suits the tournament much more than the dragon one. And meanwhile, Hemingway is actually, on the contrary, playing melee warlock.
Yes, you have not dragons for the priest, then dragons for the warlock.
You can't have a priest match without dragons, apparently.
Not today. So it would seem. Hemingway, though, not the best of starts with his hand. Doesn't have really to do for the few next turns. As it's for Backez to decide, does he want to play the North Shard or not? I think it's not, because it does the Dark Bomb too easily. But we'll see what he's
Or a Knife Juggler, because you don't know if he's playing Zoo or not just yet.
Yes, that's correct. So I think you just pass. Yeah.
I would generally agree. You also don't have like things like Velen's Chosen to buff it up the next turn, so there's like no incentive to play it this turn.
Well, maybe he's debating on coining out Wild Pyromancer, but I don't think that's... You don't have anything to proc it off, and I think that would be a waste of resources.
Shadow Madness is interesting in control piece. It means you expect to see a lot of Belchers, I imagine, on the opposing sides.
Northshire?
The reason he plays Northshire is I guess he's playing off the top of his deck. If he draws cards like, for example, Circle of Healing or the Velens, it's pretty good. But other than that, well, with Circle, yeah, Circle would still be pretty good. You could Pyro, Coin Circle something, draw a lot of cards. Does in the end decide to play a little bit more standard though.
By the way, I will notice that both of these players, it's a Golden Priest versus a Golden Warlock, so both of them have a lot of experience with their respective classes, so...
We actually see this a lot lately in our tournaments, that we see a lot of Golden classes meet Golden classes. I mean, I'm at 6 Golden classes right now, how about you?
1. I'm Golden with my Mage, I'm almost Golden with the Druid, and I think I'm on the timer. Because after standard hits, I think Druid might get a lot of nerfs. But we'll get to that, hopefully.
Hopefully when the next issue hits, something like that. I feel like you could have attacked the Death Lord with the 2 here, forced the heal. Not sure.
Maybe. Oh. But he decides to not to do so. And the heal is forced anyway, Northshire's Blade. And draws that Circle of Healing. Also, there's an Arcanine in the hand, so... If some...
This is a Hellfire Mortal Coil play if I've ever seen one, I think.
And I think Hemingway is agreeing with you, as we just saw coming over those cards. And he goes for it, he does clear the board, so the question is, what we'll see for Backez pop out of his deck? It will be...
If it's Malagus, the game is over.
Well, it's not. It's a Dark Peddler. Better than if that would be an anti-heal bot, then I think Hemingway would be really, really sad. But anyway, Hemingway has the board presence. I think they're equal on cards, right? Yes, they are, because that coin doesn't really count, so they're equal on cards. So Backez is in a bit of a rough spot, though, as we mentioned before, he is 2 points later against Hemingway, so Hemingway really needs this position that he is right now, maybe even something more.
I think he has a ton of options, but I think the Belcher is the best one, mostly.
No, he goes for the board clear. He probably thinks that Circle plus Arcanine
won't get too many opportunities to be used, so he decides to use it right
really,
now.
because I think Akane Circle is very, very powerful against melee luck. The only reason why he would do that, as far as I can tell, is because he's afraid of taking too much damage, which can be an issue against melee luck. But I mean, the Belcher does kind of force the Malygos Warlock to develop a bigger board, which you can hit with your Akane more severely. So, I mean, I don't hate this play, but I think you could have been a little bit more greedy in this position.
Yeah, but he decided, maybe he would opt to try to bait Hemingway into developing a bigger board, but he decided to go safe. He plays Thought Steal and gets Dark Plum plus Mortal Coil. Just the right tools to deal with that Blockwing Corruptor, like he draws into a Light Bomb.
I don't like this. I think you def that target and keep the Dark Bomb Mortal Coil for more flexibility. Like, you kind of also reveal to this Warlock what cards you got from Thought Steal, which is kind of a negative in itself. And really Shadow Word Def's only target in the melee lock is the Blackwing Corruptor, so he kind of took that away from you. Unless you see another Corruptor, you're not going to get to use that Shadow Word Def.
I think the reason he might have went the way he did is just to cycle. Like, just giving it his cook hand. He doesn't have anything to play proactive his own. His hand is very responsive. So maybe he decided, let's just cycle and get something of anything. I at least think that might have been his reasoning.
Well, there's a lot of plays you can do here. It's actually
Yes,
pretty
there
interesting.
are.
What did you do? Let's start with that. I think you have to def because, as I said,
Yes.
this is the last def target in the deck.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. He's gonna Shadow Madness. Okay. He's gonna get that 1/1 token, that value. Yeah. Yeah.
He's preparing Light Bomb, but I think it's a bit too obvious. And I think I don't know if you Shadow Madness this turn. I think, like, Entomb might have not been out of question. Like, Shadow Word Def, Coin Entomb, the Twilight Guardian, or the Imp Gang Boss would have been fine.
Yeah, I also thought about Entomb, like... He opted not to. Okay, Acolyte to pay for that Light Bomb, and that's gonna happen.
Well, the Warlock is a little bit. Well, the Warlock is running out of frets slowly but surely. He's running out of his mid-range options, and he's just looking for that Malygos. But he also doesn't have that many combo pieces right now. He's basically looking for a ton of cards in the form of Malygos, Dark Bombs, Second Soulfires, and yeah, he needs to get that card draw rolling. Wait, this is kind of like, is Backez actually playing something like more of a OTK priest? Because Acolytes are pretty suspicious of digging for combos and whatnot.
Yeah, his hand is not like, it doesn't seem that his deck is big on minions, given that he's been just drawing a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah, we haven't seen Museum Creators, which are kind of a staple in this deck. I mean, we've seen a Death Lord, but...
So maybe it is OTK giving the flash heals. He's holding on that what's her face? Akanai Soul Priestess. Anyway, minds have been changed. Bronzebeard is on the other side of the board. We'll see how will this play out. I will want to note that Hemingway's last turn, he did heal himself for whopping 16 damage. I don't think that was a very welcome play, given that he was starting to run low, and as you mentioned, he wasn't.
I mean, he had to use the heal bots somehow. I don't know if you play Bran with 2 heal bots. Like, that's a bit much. You don't need a heal against Priest, I imagine. He did it for the board more than the heals, I'd say. Here, I would have said you kind of want to make use of Hellfire somehow. You can trade down your minions pretty well. You're leaving him with a Bran at this spot. it's not too big of a deal against Priest, but in general, the Priest has developed 3 minions. Kind of want to make use of Hellfire in such a situation.
Yeah, there was an argument to be made for that Hellfire, but he decided not to. Deals with most of the enemy's board. Develops more minions.
I didn't like him going for the brand instead of the Cabal there.
Is there gonna be some fireplace?
No, most certainly there's gonna be fireplace.
Okay. Huh. I thought you would take the Sludge Belcher.
Well, it ties too perfectly to the burn, so I guess
Is someone injured?
maybe he just rates the Azure like a maybe he just rates the Azure as a very like welcome card to draw deeper into his deck if he really does run OTK.
Yeah. Maybe. Anyway, he took Azure Drake, Dark Bomb into Hemingway's hand. Still no Malagos.
First thing I want to see from Hemingway is a tap here, which he does, which is great. And well, you have options of Hellfiring, but I guess you don't do it again. But I mean, your board development options are kind of bad. I mean, at this point, you play the boss.
I think yes. And he does. Yeah,
Good
just
on him.
for
There's
the board.
also, as far as I know, you could even play the big game, but I guess he doesn't want to quite play into Holy Nova. Other than that, yeah, the hand's really boring. We're just waiting for that Malagos Emperor tick, and sadly, the Priest has, for Hemingway, sadly, the Priest has steadily remained at max health the entire game. You do want to trickle down the opponent's health as Malak a little bit with your mid-range minions, but you just run out of 2, so it's going to be tough to close it out, so to speak.
Doomguard is interesting because if Hemingway can find a way to deal with it, there are not that many minions left in Hemingway's deck, so the chance that Emperor or Mali comes out is quite high. And we don't, and Backez doesn't have that Entomb to deal.
This is a classic mistake which you make when you run both Twilight and Twilight Guardian, that you play the Twilight Drake first instead of the Twilight Guardian, but he luckily managed to draw you an Azure Drake with that tap, which is also a mistake because you would tap first and then the Twilight Drake would have 1 more health. Little bit of misplay from Hemingway here, but
Yeah, a sequencing error. That tends to happen to the best of us.
it's a double sequencing error, in fact.
Right you are. Light Bomb!
Well, the Twilight Drake just managed to almost have enough. Like, it actually mattered a lot because Twilight Drake would have survived if it had 1 more health against the Death Lord.
Yes, that sequencing error, yeah, did cost him just another minion. So sometimes these little mistakes add up and might cost quite a lot. Drake, I don't
Well,
see.
you tap first, I think. You do tap first in case you get force in. Then you are like 1 Hellfire, 1 Soulfire away from. Oh, I don't think Dark Bombing here is correct at all.
He wants to get a nice minion out, which is this case is the one I thought he will get, which is Emperor, but he has only 2 damage spells. There's another Soulfire there somewhere probably. No, only 1 card, and that's Malagos, so he runs only 1 Soulfire, and he has 1 Dark Bomb.
Yeah, I think he just won't have enough damage to finish this game. For Backez, I think it's just Akanai, Soul Priest, Flash Heal, play Zombie Chow. Heal face.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah. Heal
You
your.
can actually just count the damage that Hemingway is going to be able to deal at the rest for the rest of the game, and it's basically at this point, as far as I can tell, going to be 15. Wait, no, 17.
I think that was Backez is doing.
Though, like technically, Backez does not have an answer for Malagos right now.
No, he does not.
Could play Malagos Owl. I don't think you combo him down just now. I think you need every single card at your disposal to finish the game. So I don't think you can afford to like Soulfire before using the Malagos. I mean Soulfiring before using every single card you have in your deck hand. And I didn't like the Dirt Bomb either. Like, what are you saving the Owl for?
Yeah, I agree with your Dart Bomb analysis. Yeah, I don't agree with it now because at this point, Hemingway is just hoping that he can put Backez on 9.
Well, we can do the math. Okay, like let's assume like Malagos is being played this turn. No, Big Game is gonna be played this turn. Okay, this is really weak against Holy Nova.
Well, but at this point, the Hemingway is all in either way, so I cannot fault him for playing what he did. So, if he can survive few more turns and put Backez on 9 HP, then he will be able to deal with Hemingway will be able to deal with him. But he's taking fatigue damage. He's on a very tight clock, and Backez has that flash heal, has that.
Well, why not play Malagos here? I don't understand that. You're losing 4 damage doing this, and you are on the clock. You just have to play Malagos. You had to play Malagos at like last turn. That way, Entomb wouldn't have even saved Backez, I believe. Well,
Yeah.
Backez is on 2 HP right now, and now Hemingway's gonna play the Malagos combo.
So 10 damage with that Soulfire because of the 6 spell power. And
Well, Lotheb is not good. So
yes,
Hemingway, I think Hemingway misplayed on a couple of occasions here, but it was enough. Backez didn't draw like any finishers or any like suitable solutions in time. I don't think playing the Malagos last turn would have made a difference by it getting entombed and just playing the Soulfire. In fact, it would have even set up lethal regardless of the entomb being played. So I think it was a little bit of a misplay, but it managed to hold out in the end. Hemingway's on the board with 1-2. We keep this series going. We can see if you can bounce back against this priest deck.
Yeah, that was an interesting match. I thought that at some point Backez will have taken it without too much trouble, but it turns out he was not able, didn't get the decks he wanted, and it's gonna be Priest versus Druid.
The light shall bring victory.
As we start our 4th game of the best of 5 series. Not the best of starts for Hemingway. Giving his
but he's gonna have a lot of time to cater to his needs thanks to the priest being slow. I think it's gonna be really hard for the priest to close out this matchup. If Hemingway wants to play really slow, he can even set up a double combo with Innervate or Forestone or whatever, and just make a huge damage turn where he can burst him down for 30 if it's necessary.
yes. There is that charm. As you have mentioned. Okay, on the Backez hand,
It's really
has
similar, actually.
slightly.
It's actually really similar to the last game, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Will he play the Northshire? Does he respect Wrath? Yes, no. No, yes.
I think you play the Nerfshire, and you keep the coin powered shield for maybe a shade. With the pyro.
Someone injured?
A shade? Yeah. Maybe.
Well, there's
Oh.
a shade.
And he coins out Acolyte.
Well, this prevents him from killing the shade with the pyromancer. It does give him 2 draws, but well, on the luck side, Hemingway is incentivized to Wild Growth here just to enable a 5-6-7 instead of the 3. But again, we see the same response playing the shade over the Wild Growth. I can't get behind this. You see your curve in hand. I'm not a druid player. I will be the first one to say that.
Okay.
But it just seems so much more compelling to set up your 5-6-7 as opposed to your 6-7 drop. Moreover, because the Druid of the Claw is really problematic for a priest to deal with.
Well,
If he had played Backez, he would have been able to play.
Yelling at you. No, you're sitting there yelling. Man, you're shouting.
I agree with the guy in the background.
I was
Calm down.
I was so shocked that he insinuated that I couldn't pull my finger away from the press to talk button. But basically, he would have had a 6-7, 5-3 play. He had played Wild Grove on the previous turn. That's what,
Okay, Donnie. That's in the past. Emperor Thorson is being played on Becky's side. There are 2 acolytes. He plays Wild Pyromancer and Light of Naru to proc those acolytes of pain and gets a double draw.
I think you're looking for something very specific, which I can't get behind what exactly that would be right now.
Well,
Flash Shield comes to mind, but
I think he just realized he's in a spot where he's not gonna be able to proc those acolytes in any meaningful fashion, so he decided to go for it right now, and I cannot fault him for that.
I wonder if you actually trade here. How about dealing 10 face damage and just drawing the 2 cards, get that double Emperor tech, and just put the priest under immense amount of pressure?
Yeah,
Okay.
plus you saw a lot of the enemy's hand previously, so you know Light Bomb is a very real thing. But he decided to trade. Okay, Shade, Harrison, and a Druid of the Claw. Nothing too out of the ordinary here.
Well, Excavated Evil is a card we didn't see last game. I think just second Light Bomb's gonna hit right now.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Harrison. I would have much preferred Charging Druid and Lothar play.
No,
I think Hemingway is trying to play this a little bit too slow at this point.
I've got the beast in my sights.
Maybe too slow, but anyway, Hemingway is continuing with his. I don't know. I think playing Harrison on that turn was reasonable. But anyway, Excavated Evil is being played. I will remind you that Backez 2 points versus Hemingway's 1. Doomguard is played on the board. Hemingway is empty when it comes to his board. He's gonna play. He's gonna play a Lothar and Darnassus Aspirant plus Jake just almost emptying his hand, playing every minion he has because he developed 2 times beforehand a pretty nice board, but Backez was able to deal with it, so Hemingway is now running out of steam.
I think you actually cabaled Darnassus. And you have a really good way of dealing with the board. You could Alchemy, Hero Power the 4/4 and use the Deathlord to trade up, but the problem is that you're sacrificing your Alchemy, which is your Flash Heal enabler, kind of, in this situation.
So, yeah, I think maybe Cabal was might have been a better He's forced to use his Force of Nature.
I don't think there's a particularly good minion who can get on the Death Lord at this point.
Well, Pirate Shredder's pretty good.
Yeah, probably one of the better ones.
Yes. An Ancient of War would be very painful to get this way.
I mean, we haven't actually seen a Holy Nova in Backez deck, have we? Like,
No, we haven't.
So how do you clear this board, like with Pyro or something? Can you do it? You can't proc Pyro 3 times, can you?
Oh no,
you
I don't see a way.
No, you're 1 mana off of procking it 3 times.
Place Pyro.
Oh yeah, you can flash to the Pyro, that would make it proc 3 times.
Oh right, yeah. So he will be able to deal with everything that's on the board on Hemingway's side. It's now a question what we will see from those Pirate Shredders.
Double Whirling Zap-O-Matic.
Nope. Not today. Yeah, that Lightwell doing nothing. Hemingway is not low on HP. He already used one piece of a combo, so not the best.
Actually,
spot.
that Lightwell is a real liability because it's actually a Cabal target.
Yes, right you are. For Backez, that Lightwell will do a lot more than it will do for Hemingway.
Let's try at silence for sure. Or is it? Well, I think you silenced the Lightwell and you innervate the Dr. Boom here.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not a
the-
priest player, but most priest players, I mean, I'm not a druid player, but most druid players seem very straightforward.
Yeah, I would say, and I think in this instance, that's definitely the case. Hemingway will develop a board 4 times in a row. Oh no, he opts to not go that route and just hits 1 time, Lightwell, and now he's thinking about Dr. Boom. We do see Entomb on the other player's hand, so Boom will probably get entombed by Backez.
How ironic that Boom is forever gonna get entombed in the standard format.
Again, proud of yourself.
Oh, actually about this one, yeah, I am.
Oh, okay, good for you. Oh, and so his gambit plays off. Lightwell heals himself, not Backez. But an Ancient of Lore will get that card draw that Backez also like. Oh no, he heals himself actually. Okay. Then use Power Shield on it to create a 5/7. Such Belt should join Backez' hand. And Backez is still in a very nice spot. Hemingway drawing an Azure Drake. Probably gonna play.
I mean, not playing the Boom is so weird. I just don't understand it. You're basically playing around Entomb, but how are you gonna ever beat the Entomb without the Dr. Boom? Like, it just makes no sense. So you're basically already forfeiting this match in that sense.
Sure, you could say that. Yeah. Well, yeah. Excavation doesn't make sense.
Activated Evil is terrible since it actually kills your Azure and leaves his board still alive.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
So now he does innervate the Boom. Wait, no, he actually activated Evils just to kill. Well, what would he kill? He actually leaves the Lightwell up, which is terrible, as a matter of fact, because it just might kill the Ancient of Lore.
You know what his long-term play might be? Is that he's waiting for Boom to stay long in his hand once he can get a second combo, so that even if Dr. Boom itself is dealt with, those Boom bots is something that can be buffed also. But if that's the case, I don't think he's gonna will be able to do that. Well, draw, turn 10. Let's draw the card.
Your line of play insinuates that he's waiting to play Boom just for 4 extra damage from Savage Roar, which is irrelevant at best. Those Boom bats might have had a slight chance to deal with the board at the very least. Yeah, I just think this Boom was held for no reasonable reason at the very least.
Let me change your mind.
Minds are being changed, Cabal Shadow Priest, taking a Golden Keeper of the Grove. And that board is getting bigger and bigger, stronger and stronger.
Damn these mindless stags. Well, There's a Savage Roar and Boxer Blooms comes down, so apparently your logic coincides with Hemingway's. But, yeah, this is just too little too late at this point. I think most of it goes back to the first play where he developed the big board and didn't go with the low fib with it, even without having Savage Roar. The concurrent low fib didn't really have any effect, whereas that low fib would have probably like established the board for him, which could have made him play around Light Bomb a lot better than he did in this game.
Yeah, I think giving the removal heavy deck of Backez, having Lothar played on the right turn is key to protecting your own board. And we saw Hemingway basically establish a board 3 different times, and every time Backez was able to deal with it. And this is GG. Backez takes it against Hemingway 3-1 as Backez moves on, and Hemingway sadly but most definitely falls out of this tournament.
Good job, Backez. I was pretty convinced by his plays. Congratulations to him on moving forward, and excited for the next match as usual.
We are gonna take a break before